Hello everyone, this is Michael from Valor Recon here today with another Valorant video. Today we're doing something a little bit different. For those of you who don't know, patch 4.01 just came out today, and with it came a couple of interesting updates. If you want all of the news about all of that, I did a separate video that you can go check out. This video, in my opinion, is going to be way more interesting because we are going to be taking a look at the insides of the game and kind of getting a look at the future as to what may be coming. We already know a little bit because of the streams they've been doing, or the streams they did, I guess, when episode 4 launched. So we know, for instance, Yoru's rework is slated for the next update or the update after that. And so we know a couple of those things, but we have some really interesting things we can look at when we look at the new files added into the game. So kind of going down the list, let's take a look. This first one is AI Decorator Current Target Shootable Flash, which may not mean anything to you, but let's talk a little bit about this AI Decorator and more specifically what folder it's in. I'm kind of new to data mining, and so I have not looked over every single folder in the Valorant assets. And with this, it kind of brought something to my attention. You can actually take a look, and they have this folder, and it is all AI tasks and AI different events that it's trying to get it to do. So you can see things like reload weapon, select search location. We see on the right, protect point, protect bomb, pre-round, pick up equipable, guard dropped enemy bomb. And so it has all these things that you would typically do in a game. And when I first saw this folder, I was like, oh, this is for the practice, like diffuse and plant game modes. But they do things here that they would never do in that game mode. So for instance, retreat from bomb site, run from exploding bomb, sniper weapon, single shot weapon. So there's all these different things that are indicative of an AI in a game. And I think that's really fascinating. I think we've all kind of known they're working on it, but it's good to see that they have a lot of work done in it. And actually, if I'm not mistaken, Shazam actually did this in like one of the playtest things. He went into a game and there were a bunch of AIs and they weren't necessarily very intelligent, but it's at the point where they can at least be in game and run around. And so this is just showing that they are doing more work, this time with flashes. I'm sure getting them to use their abilities in the right way is going to be one of the more difficult things to do. And this flash thing, current target shootable flash, that could be if the enemy is targeted, maybe play, or is flashed, maybe play a little bit different. So it's interesting to see kind of what this might mean. But it is great to see that because it could mean one of two things. I could very easily see in unrated if a player drops out until they develop the ability for people to jump into games. Maybe you get an AI who isn't necessarily as good as a normal player, but can at least substitute. And maybe in customs, you can go add some extra AIs. It'd be kind of interesting to do like a 3v3 and each team has 2 AIs and kind of just fill out those rosters. So I'm excited to see where this one goes. It's not necessarily a feature I've seen them officially announce, but it's very clearly here in the game files. Next, so here's more of them. Next, let's talk about Viper, who, this isn't a huge change, but Viper's codename is Pandemic. Kind of glad they didn't go with that one. But you can see kind of based on the folder that this is her Q. So this would be her smoke and it's her third person animation. So the animation that people see and you can kind of tell. So this is her Q and it's when she's looking in different directions. So east, north, northeast, northwest. All of this, apparently there are some changes to those animations, so maybe keep an eye out for those. I don't think it's anything major, but maybe there was some clipping issues or something like that, and they have definitely changed them, at least in every direction. Maybe she now aims a little bit different depending on the direction she's facing. Nothing mentioned in the patch notes about it, and I thought it was interesting, so if you guys see anything about this, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll pin or heart your comment so everyone sees it. Next, not a huge deal, but they have returned some of the billboards. Recently, they've been showing the Valorant champion, so they've been showing Ascend in the player list, and so it's looking like a lot of the assets on these maps are moving back to what they normally are. Interestingly, this Wander ad is there, which I really thought was only there right before Breeze was introduced, but this is being re-added to the game in a different spot, or maybe the same spot. I actually haven't physically gone and checked, but these files have been reintroduced into the game, and so just a couple of prop changes. Next, we have this really perplexing one for me. So it's inside the mini-map assets folder. and it's this weird door icon. So the first thing I did was I went in game and I went on Breeze and I checked to make sure that the doors that go up and down didn't have this icon on the map. I checked actual like wooden doors and it was not there. So I have yet to see this icon in game, but I was curious what else is in this folder, because I'm currently, when I'm doing this, I'm in a view that only shows me the new files. And in this folder, there are 4 assets, A, B, C, and door icon. And these are literally just black letters A, B, and C that show up on the minimap. And so this one is really, really interesting to me. This may have something to do with the next map that's coming. Maybe there's some door style mechanic. But I do think that's really interesting. Maybe they're looking to make the mini maps a little bit more information rich. And so, you know, doors that can open and close, or maybe just doors in general, may be replaced with this icon, and we might see more like this. I want to know your guys' thoughts on that. Would you like to see more information heavy maps? Or do you think this would be too much on the map? What do you think this is? Is this a mistake? Either way, I haven't seen anything else like this. This does look a lot like the doors it looks a lot like Ascent. But it'll be interesting to see how this is used and why it's necessarily in this folder. Next, tournaments. So I actually did a video covering everything we know about tournaments, and then I later got into data mining, and I realized there is so much information in the game files right now. And the only thing that got added here was tournaments queue selector. And so that, I assume there'll be different types of queues, or maybe just different servers. But that's a new asset. But I thought I'd also show you guys, there's a lot of stuff in here. Tournaments, there's assets, there's the hub, which involves different pages, including creating your team, customizing your team, earning rewards, upcoming tournaments, player info, roster, verification, all of this stuff. And there is some pretty beefy information in here. So like verify your account, phone number. To proceed with verifying your account, please enter your phone number. We will send you a verification code via SMS. And so we have a lot of information about tournaments inside of the code of the game. And so if you are wanting to see me break down everything that's in that folder, let me know. Last time I did a tournaments video, it didn't necessarily do the hottest. So I don't know if that's something you guys are interested in, but I did find there was a lot of interesting stuff that Valor leaks a lot, but there was a lot of stuff that maybe isn't huge, but was in there that I thought was somewhat interesting. And so, yeah, this is all within the game files. This one isn't anything new, but this tournament queue selector is. Maybe there'll be different types of tournaments where you can do like more casual or more, I don't want to say professional, but more hardcore, and the more hardcore ones give you better rewards, but the casual ones might be more fun. That's another option, but I do think this is most likely just server based. Next, let's talk about Joe. Okay, so the only thing, this was not a new file. This has actually been in the game for a little bit now, but drawbridge.uasset was changed in this update in some way. I can't see what the difference is, but it brought my attention onto this. So we have shooter game, which is just Valorant, content maps. So maps is where all of the different maps live, and then there's test maps, and there's the test map of Joe. And they've been testing something called Drawbridge, as well as Switch, Hidden Temple. So what this is kind of telling me is that in an upcoming map, maybe not the next one, we are going to see some sort of drawbridge mechanic that is probably connected to a Switch. The fact that this is in the live game files makes me think it might be the upcoming map, which, if they're following their cadence, we're going to get a new map at the next act. But I also have no idea. They haven't really mentioned the cadence of map and character releases. It kind of is just, hey, when it's time for the release, you'll see what we have. In the past, it was supposed to be 6 agents a year, 1 per act, and then a map once per episode. And they kind of went to a character or a map every act. And then it was like every other act had a character and every other act had a map. But I know they were trying to rush up to 7. This will be interesting to see. There's not really many hints on the battle pass this act. So I don't know if we're necessarily getting a map next act, but if we are, it may involve drawbridges, which could be something kind of interesting. We are looking at the next map being in Portugal. So maybe if you guys have any ideas on this, let me know, but it is interesting. Their test map of Joe has these features. All right, guys. So those are the big things I was able to find within the files. I want to know all of your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Do you like this style of video? Next time I'll probably have a little bit less to talk about because I did get to talk about some files that are already there, but this is also a pretty minor update. It'll be interesting to see in future updates what they are adding. I hope this gave you a little bit of a glimpse into the future with AI players, tournaments, as well as new maps. I want to know, again, all your thoughts. I will see you guys in the next video. Also, if you want to see the actual patch notes, those are in a different video. See you next time.